Well, well, well. Plenty of Dallas Cowboys talk today. Brian Schottenheimer gave his second presser of the offseason now that we're going into week 2 of the OTAs. And once again, Brian Schottenheimer had a lot of interesting things to say as it pertains to things like Jaydon Blue, kind of where it is with George Pickens, Jalen Thompson, the defense and the offense overall. Once again, Brian Schottenheimer gives us a lot of in-depth conversation about the Dallas Cowboys. Then, we're going to listen to Rashawn Gary today. He had a lot of things to say about the Dallas Cowboys too, in particular, Dak Prescott and Caleb Downs. Also, we're going to listen to some player interviews from the day, and we finally get to hear from Caleb Downs as in a player interview. So, we got that and more today on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's go. Yep. Let's go, Cowboys Nation. It is time to talk Cowboys, and we got plenty to talk about. Again, Brian Schottenheimer dropped megaton bombs on Cowboys Nation today. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come onto this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Hype this up. Now let's talk facts. So today, we're going to check out Brian Schottenheimer. Had a lot of good things to say in the presser. I also got a story that I found in a podcast. They were talking about Jerry Jones and Michael Parsons. And I'm telling y'all, it's amazing how the truth is just trickling out as it pertains to Jerry Jones and Michael Parsons. And I want to tell you some more about that saga. Then, we're going to listen to Rashawn Gary on Good Morning Football. I don't know if y'all have heard the entire interview. I've seen snippets out there, but we're going to listen to the entire interview. It's very good. Then, we're going to listen to this thing, Dak talking in his presser today about George Pickens and other things. Very good interview with one Dak Prescott. Then, we're going to listen to some of the player interviews, if not all, depending upon how long it is. But we will be listening to player interviews today. And in particular, the one I am excited about is Caleb Downs. So that's going to be our show for today. Schotty presser, Jerry and Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Good Morning Football, Dak talking Pickens and other things, and player interviews. Oh, we got a great show planned for the day. Let's go, Cowboy fans. Let's get it. Hey. Let's get that roll call. Let's see who's in with Cowboys Nation. And then we're going to get this show started. Dominic Pittman, what is going on? He said a lot of words salad was coming out of Schotty's mouth on the George Pickens situation. G, I can't wait to hear it because I haven't listened to it yet. What is going on, 70s fan show? Cowboys are moving different. I wouldn't believe it, but the fact there is no drama in Dallas tells me it's going to be a great season. I agree. What's going on, Marvin Mays? Good to see you, Marvin Mays. What up, John Henry? It is the real estate vet. Dolores Ennis, what up? Frank Lawrence, what up, Frank Lawrence? Andre Johnson. Mark Davis. What is going on, Mark Davis? Man, let me tell you something, boy. I got that Rayhan Aquatica in today. Got that Rayhan Aquatica. Real citrusy, but I haven't put it on yet. I want to see what the dry down is. But Mark Davis, tell me what you think. Man, if y'all like good smelling cologne at an affordable price, F-Non Supremacy Collector's Edition. Oh, man. Tell him Mark Davis. Y'all go check out Mark Davis's Fragrance channel. I don't know if you've done Afternoon Supremacy. It is the real deal. Carl Williams, what is going on? Freddie Morales, El Truco in the house. Richard Owens, what up? Jacob Jackson, what's going on? With them boys, what up? Chris Dunaway, what's up? The Cowboys Optimist. Gabe Robinson, Christian Legal, what's going on? Derek Jones, or as we used to say in the hood, Derek Jones, what up, Derek Jones? 5 points of the star. The Queen, what's going on, Queen? Mr. 72 Chevelle, let's go. What's going on? Ice Cold Cowboy, always good to see you. Baba Tunde, what's going on, Baba Tunde? Bass, what up, Bass? Headhunter, what up, Bass? Headhunter. Kimberly, she said, huge Longhorn fan. I'm praying Blue gets his chance. Oh, Kimberly, I don't know if you've seen the interview, but Jaydon Blue is about to get more than his chance. What's going on, Gregory Hicks? Randolph, what's going on, Randolph Jerry? What's going on, Brother Holman? Good to see you. Johnny Wiggins, there will be blood. What's going on, Jack? The Lunatic, what is going on? What's going on, Darlin Kangas? What is going on? Good to see you. All right, let's get this show started. What's going on, Roosevelt Sears? Bless you too. What's going on? Mark Davis, man, I'm telling you that Afternoon Supremacy, crazy. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's get this show started. Enoch Taylor, let's go. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Let's get this show started. We're going to listen to Brian Schottenheimer. And I didn't listen to all of it, but oh man, I did hear what he said about Jaydon Blue. And man, I was saying this last year, but I think Jaydon Blue, I always thought that Jaydon Blue was a part of the plan. Now, we started hearing all these things about his attitude, and I was kind of like, okay, well, if he can't get his attitude together, then we'll have to do something else. But I believe Jaydon Blue was always a part of the plan. And if Brian Schottenheimer wants to evolve his plays, what better way than Jaydon Blue? Screen game, you can line him up in the slot, you can run him out on wide receiver routes, you can get him on sweeps. I mean, he can really open up the game for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm very excited. Can't wait till we get to that part of the interview. But nevertheless, we are going to now turn it over to Brian Schottenheimer as he begins to talk Dallas Cowboys.
How much Tad respects you guys. We just walked by.
As he begins to talk Dallas Cowboys, and I am excited about a lot of things that he had to say today. So without further ado, let's go. Let's get it. Brian Schottenheimer. What up, Randolph Jerry? He said, what's good, my brother? You're doing an amazing job bringing it to us. You're the best. I don't care about the rest. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Boy, you got me laughing, Freddie Morales. Boy, Freddie Morales said what? He stopped showing up in the blue Louis Vuitton cleats. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brian Schottenheimer told him, throw them doggone cleats in the trash, man. Throw them cleats in the trash. Dominique said he's only part of the plan because Stephen and Jerry forcing him. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily forcing him, Dominique, but I think he was always a part of the plan. That's what they drafted him for. I mean, why would you draft him, Dominique, and he not be a part of the plan? I mean, if I draft a player like a Jaydon Blue, even a Phil Maffa, yeah, I want him to play. Yeah, I am going to tell the coach. I want to see what they can do. We did draft them for a reason. Yeah, of course. And they should have something to say about it. They should have something to say about it. They do. They drafted him. Why not? Why not? Why not, man? Tommy Solo said, hate to say it, but Brian Schottenheimer, I'm his. Okay. Okay, he said he got to give me a Super Bowl. He's going to get us a Super Bowl. You watch what I tell you. Cowboys Optimus, he said, I wonder if the negative bunch going to touch on this blue RB2. I love it. Mark Davis said, hey, G, got that 9 p.m. night out beast fragrance. Boy, I know. I already know. I got it on the list. Got it on the list, Mark Davis. Ben said, I agree with Pittman word salad. Okay, well, we're going to listen to it. And again, I mean, is it really word salad, Bass? Bass, it's June. What else you want the man to say? It's June, man. He's giving us some things to hold us over until we get the football season started. You know what? Let's listen to this and make sure it's word salad. I mean, okay, that's y'all's opinion. I ain't gonna knock your opinion. But let's see if this actually is word salad. Let's get this thing started. Check it out.
Primrose Academy, I believe, Adventure Club. So we stopped by and said hello to the young kids, and Tad, as we walked in, he said, "This is the real Adventure Club." Yeah. So that's how he thinks of you guys.
We won't tell you what we were saying before you.
Hey, let's talk later because I agree. Whatever you guys were saying, I probably agree.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. You got Sam Howell. You were quite an offseason. Obviously, you got Joe. Just how have they been looking? It's very early. How have they been looking so far?
Both doing good. You know, like we've talked about, Calvin, this is one of those deals where it's not real football. We're doing way more 7-on-7 than honestly I like to do because I don't think it's real football. Quarterbacks like to get maybe not chased, but it's part of the game. And so, but they're both doing
Cowboy
good.
Fan Kevo?
We're rotating them evenly. The first week was Joe getting most of the twos and Sam mixing in, and this week it's the other way around. But it's going to be a fun competition, and I love how they're pushing each other to be great.
Did Joe not do something enough for you to say, going into this year, he's my number 2 guy? Or is it more about we want to create competition?
Yeah, I think we're always trying to raise the level and improve the room any chance we get. And we've been very fortunate here, having some really great, young men that are competitors filling those spots, but you're always looking to build as much depth as you can. And a guy like Sam Howell, when you think about it, it's crazy. Sam Howell has more starts than Cooper Rush. Which is, because he started the 1 year at Washington, right? I think the entire year. He's been exposed to been in a lot of different systems, which I think is great for all of us.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth. I can really appreciate the Joe Milton, Sam Howell competition because last year they basically gave him the job. And I really didn't like how they did that. I believe they should have absolutely let Will Grier compete last year. But I understand they gave up a draft pick. I can't remember what it was, a 6th round or 7th round or whatever they gave up for Joe Milton. And everybody was talking about the rocket for an arm and, the talent is off the charts and all of this stuff. Okay, I got all of it. He out there turning backflips and everybody talking about Dak don't get hurt and you better get a real estate agent. And okay, now a year later, now we got Sam Howell in here actually competing for the number 2 job. And now we're not hearing all that nonsense about, Dak is getting pushed. Stop it. Dak pushes himself. So Dak is his own critic. So I think it's good that Sam Howell is backing or will be battling for this job. So we're going to see what happens in the grand scheme of things. I got a feeling that if we're just talking about quarterback play, Sam Howell is probably going to beat out Joe Milton. I could see Sam Howell beating out Joe Milton. But at the same time, if the Cowboys keep their hope on all of the athleticism, then Joe Milton will beat Sam Howell. And so maybe this is just a ploy to try to get a little bit more, out of one Joe Milton. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm glad that he's just not being given the job like he was last year because they basically handed it to him on a silver platter.
This little housekeeping to start off. Who's not practicing for the wedding or whatever?
Well, I mean, there's lots going on. So I actually have my handy-dandy thing because I knew you were going to ask me. Really what we're dealing with, Duran's doing great, coming off the foot. Ezra Rocco's excused today. He's doing great. He's dealing with something personal. Jonathan Mingo's got a groin strain. He'll be limited mocks and walkthroughs that you guys don't see. Jalen Thompson's dealing with a little minor pec strain, nothing crazy. And then I'll let you guys guys know, Matt Hennessy is having neck surgery today. He had a disc issue that showed up, and more than likely, no timetable, but more than likely probably PUP guy for us.
Overzone here or not here?
He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah. I mean, you got time for a honeymoon. I mean, the wedding's fine, but the honeymoon can wait a couple weeks, right?
Pickens is not here, right?
Yeah. No.
You talked about the competition and insert.
Okay, so we now know Jalen Thompson sounds like right now, doesn't sound like a whole bunch. Says he's got a minor pec strain. So they're kind of keeping him under wraps. What's going on, 817? On the road. Appreciate you listening. Yeah, it's just, it sounds like it's something, minor, so they're not really tripping on it. Randolph, I'm going to come back to that comment in a moment. Let's get this super chat in from the Lunatic. Appreciate that $2 super chat. He said, Demo, C. Downs, Clark, and Big Q leading by example. Yeah, and Dak Prescott, too. I mean, Cowboys got some really good leadership on this team this year, and I can really appreciate it. Cowboy fan Kivo, again, what's going on? So I can really appreciate what they're doing, but I'm glad they have Joe Milton actually competing out here, because Sam Howell's been a starter in this league, and I believe that he's probably going to beat Joe Milton out. But we're going to see how it goes. And if Joe Milton beats him out, well, man, Joe Milton is really improved, because I do think Sam Howell is probably a better quarterback. And then, of course, Joe Mingo is getting closer and closer to the chopping block, guys. I didn't think that Valdez-Scantling, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Marquez Valdez-Scantling was going to even make the team. But as the days go by, I'm starting to realize that Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think he's going to make this squad. I really do. I'm starting to think the Cowboys, who love speed and where it hasn't really worked out other than Turpin, but I think they want to see if they can get Marquez Valdez-Scantling down the field. So Joe Mingo, man, you better whatever injury you have, you better get that thing healed up, bro, because you might be out of here. Oh, did I say Joe Mingo? I meant Jonathan Mingo. Sorry about that, man.
You talked about competition back to quarterback. What does that look like in left tackle? Is it open competition? Are they alternating reps like they're doing it backup quarterback, or is it Tyler DeLuise?
No, same thing. So week one was Tyler Guyton with the ones, and then week two it actually started in phase two. So this week I think Tyler's back. Tyler Guyton's back with the ones this week, but it's been a full week. What we're trying to do this year a little different. I think it's better. Again, as we evolve and grow, and I learn, is let them do it for a week, or a number of practices, so you get a chance of, hey, had a bad day, had a good day, but you want to see it more consistently. So we're giving them really kind of 3 practices in a row to get those reps and to work with those guys, but it's an open competition. And again, both those guys are fighting hard for it. They're both working really, really hard, both on the classroom or in the classroom and off, and it should be a fun one.
The real competition between Joe Milton, I almost called him Jonathan Milton. The real competition between Joe Milton and Sam Howell is going to be Oxnard, California. I want to see what they look like not only in Oxnard, we're going to see what it really is in the preseason. That's when we're really going to get the competition going between those two. But 7-on-7, I guess you can kind of get some things from the throws and things like that. But at the end of the day, we need a little bit more live fire out there before we can kind of come to some of these conclusions.
The other position like that where you're purposely rotating, is that you were saying they're backup running back on you doing tight end? Any other position like you're doing like that?
Yeah, most of them where there's not a true established guy. Like we're excited. Let's talk about the running backs for a second. Javonte, obviously tremendous year last year, but we're really excited about the young guys with Jaydon and Phil. Malik Davis, we know what he is. He's a guy that we really like coming out of Pitt. So I would say really most positions that don't have a established, like a no-brainer guy, we're creating competition, and we're also moving pieces around. Like you're going to see Kobe Durant, playing corner but playing nickel. You're going to see Caleb Downs playing safety, playing nickel. You're going to see, Marist moving around doing different things. So we want to create competition. Now's the time to do it
Yeah, I saw that,
because again, we're
Christian
getting
McGowan.
through the installs for the first time, and then when we get into training camp, it heats up a little bit more.
Did you mention CD?
Now, I really like what they're talking about right here. And I don't understand why people are really opposed to this, because what's wrong with it? It's like we're really selective with this. You know, like if it's Zeke and Tony Pollard, people don't have no problem with it. But now that we're saying we want it to be Javonte Williams, Jaydon Blue, and Phil Maffa maybe. Why do people have a problem with it? Why do people actually have a problem with that? Why not go ahead and let these let's see what these young running backs are. You already got, in reality, you already have your bell cow running back, somewhat of a veteran. I mean, he's not no 10-year vet, but you've already got your bell cow back. And I told you before, Brian Schottenheimer said something that I've already said. They already know what Malik Davis is. Did you kind of hear what he said? He just nonchalantly said, yeah, we got Malik Davis. We already know what he is. And it's not that Malik Davis, because you get some people, they talk about Nick Chubb. Well, if you look at Malik Davis' numbers and divide Nick Chubb's carries by 2, his touchdowns by 2, his yards by 2, you actually have Malik Davis. He's basically Nick Chubb. He's basically Nick Chubb. Not as in age and years in the league, but in productivity. You basically got Nick Chubb. So the Cowboys are saying we already know what Malik Davis is. They want to see what Phil Maffa and Jaydon Blue is. That's why they drafted him. That is why they drafted him. And I do believe that if they really want to evolve their play calling, they need to include Jaydon Blue. He's exactly what they need. Phil Maffa is going to be more of a Javonte Williams type of back. He's more of a Javonte Williams. He's actually bigger than Javonte Williams, 235 pounds. He's actually bigger than Javonte Williams. But Phil Maffa, speed kills. You already got your bruiser running backs. Javonte Williams' strength isn't in the passing game. It's not in the screen game. It's not in the sweep game outside of the tackles. That's not his game. I'm telling us now, if I were game planning for the Cowboys as a defense coordinator, it would be a nightmare. But I already know one of the decisions I would make if I was playing the Dallas Cowboys is I am going to stuff the middle of the field. I'm going to stuff the middle of the field if I'm a team playing the Cowboys, because I already know what they want to do. They want to run in the A gaps, at the most the B gaps. I would stuff the A gaps and the B gaps, and I would force them with Javonte Williams. I try to force him outside because I know he's not as fast going outside. I'd rather get him going side to side than getting him coming head on coming head on in between the tackles, one-on-one with a linebacker. No, I'm gonna stuff that. I'll probably line up my nose tackle. I'll probably line him up in those A gaps so that when he comes, the first thing that he's going to hit a tackle. Hit a tackle in there. So the Cowboys have got to, if they're going to evolve their game, they've got to develop an outside running game. They absolutely do. They have to evolve. They have to get an outside running game. They need sweeps. They need pitches. They need screens. Because if not, I'm telling you, one thing I know about this league, it'll catch up with you in a hurry, man. This league will catch up with you in a hurry. Whatever you did well last year, you're probably not going to do it well this year because they've already been working on what you did well. Especially when you are a top 3 offense in the league. They're already working on what you're doing. They're already working on it. And so, again, the Cowboys are actually going to play a lot of teams this year. When you look at some of the teams the Cowboys are playing defensively, in particular, teams, because I believe that when you look at the Cowboys schedule, and we'll look at it in a moment, every playoff team in the NFC, I believe, this year is already on the Cowboys schedule. There could be one team maybe missing, but I believe every playoff team for 2026, every NFC playoff team is on the Cowboys roster. And some of the AFC playoff teams. But for sure, all the NFC playoff teams are already on the Cowboys schedule. And they will, I'm telling you, the defenses we're playing this year, Schotty gonna have to come with it. Schotty will have to come with it this year because we're gonna have defenses that will be able to do some things that, it's hard to scheme for the Cowboys offense. Well, they'll be able to do it. We're gonna play some teams that are gonna be able to do it. So you're gonna have to really take this thing to the next level. So I like what they're doing with Jaydon Blue. See what he is. See what he is, man. I still now, don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to, I still wouldn't be opposed to bringing in James Conner. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to bringing him in. I'm not, Nick Chubb, I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys brought him in. I'll tell you another player, I definitely wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys brought him in if he get his attitude together. I just don't know if he fits. I don't know if he would fit in the locker room, fit the culture. Sure, I'd love for him to bring in Joe Mixon. If Joe Mixon is healthy, oh man, I'd love for him to bring in Joe Mixon. I absolutely would. The Lunatic, Malik Davis, Jaydon Blue, Maffa, and a Benny Conner will have their chances. I'm not sold on a Benny Conner. He got to show me something because I watched tape on him. Definitely not impressed with a Benny Conner. But again, they already know who Malik Davis is. I really believe the Lunatic, this is Jaydon Blue and Phil Maffa's job to lose. It's their jobs to lose. What up, Mo3 Ski? What's going on? All right, let's hit some more Brian Schottenheimer. What's going on, Young Merc? Bass said no more stalling on drives or red zone downs. Yeah. You have two guys on the perimeter and two bruiser running backs and a side-to-side running back in blue if he's the one chosen. You better score a point, not kick. Not score points, not kicks. Yeah, I agree.
CD?
As part of that group?
Yeah. CD's not here today. Yeah, he had excused absence. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
A quick Pickens question.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not been around next week if he's here for the mini camp. Do you anticipate limiting his work just because you don't know where he's been or what he's been doing exactly?
Yeah, we'll be smart. I have no questions. He's working, but what you don't want to do is put a guy in here that you don't know exactly where he's at, Todd, because let's be honest, we don't truly know how much running he's doing, and he's obviously a great athlete. But we'll be smart. But there's plenty of things he can do from the mocks to the walkthroughs and get him back into the system. But again, if we're cautious, it's just because we want to be cautious. It's not because we don't think he's not working. We think he's putting in the work and preparing to have a hell of a year.
And then
now I'm gonna tell you this part right here. I really appreciate what they're saying right here. I really do appreciate it. That when Pickens shows up, and it sounds like he's going to show up next week, it doesn't sound like they're going to put Pickens to a lot of work. I really appreciate what they're doing. I mean, this is business, and business can be personal. But at the same time, I can appreciate what they're doing. Don't just bring George Pickens back next week and say, hey, you missed a lot of time. It's time for you to get in here and catch up. Nope. They're talking about kind of working him back in because in the grand scheme of things, the Cowboys don't want George Pickens injured either. I like it. Hey, they don't want him injured. What good does it do the Cowboys if George Pickens is injured? So I like what they're doing. Bring him back when he comes back next week, kind of working back in and, working back in, and then we'll see him again in July, Oxnard, California. So I like what they're doing.
We've
There
heard
they are. See, they're fired up.
Fun club.
Yep, they're out there.
We've heard a lot of coaches talk about a second-year jump for players. For you, what's a second-year jump as you go into your year 2 as head coach?
I mean, it's obviously going to start with more wins. Getting the culture to continue to grow. Like I said, I think in one of the deals this year, the culture has been really fun to create because you got a lot of new faces, and we certainly weren't expecting as many changes on the defensive staff that we ended up making. But I'm excited about the culture. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to wins and losses. I feel much more comfortable in year 2. I think I've got my hands around more of the things that I want to, and I've also been able to, really do a after action report on myself and making little tweaks throughout, and just much more comfortable.
What are some of those things you've gotten your hands around more, do you think?
Well, I mean, being more involved in the defense early on, that's a big one.
Now, I can appreciate, again, something else Schotty is saying. What does a year 2 jump look like for him? Well, more wins. Yeah. More wins. Absolutely, more wins. Schotty needs more wins this year. I mean, even though Freddie Morales makes a good point that he got more wins in his first season than Jimmy, but I think Jimmy's team was way worse than the team that Schotty inherited. Schotty's team is better than he inherited, even though the defense was bad, but the offense was great. He was 7-9-1. And so, more wins. Absolutely, more wins. More wins. And I don't think it needs to be one more win. I think it needs 3 more wins. Schotty needs to be double-digit wins this year. He can't fall back. And one win, one more extra win just isn't enough. It can't be 2. It needs 10. It needs 10. 10 wins. I think that's the magic number. Schotty needs 10 wins. 10 wins. Not only does he need 10 wins, I'm with you too, Bass. I'm not in, yeah, I'm like you. Focus on offense. I don't think you need to be so much, with Christian Parker. I know he's a first-year coach, so maybe you want to spend a little time with him, but I wouldn't be, trying to just oversee him. I'm just peeking to see what you're doing, and I'm out of there. I'm with you. Focus on offense. He needs to evolve this offense. I mean, we need to see a lot. I mean, I've been hearing Ryan Flanoy's been lining up in the slot, doing all of those things. So I really want to see what they're going to do. What is he going to do? I want to see, can he get Michael Trigg involved? I want to see how quickly he can get him in the offense, because I think he's going to be awesome. What about our fullback? Can he get the fullback involved? I really want to see some of the things that he does. Can he evolve and say George Pickens isn't going to just run slants and goes? What is he going to do there? I mean, I really want to see it. I'm with you, Christian Legal. Play calling. Yeah. I want to see the play calling evolve. Play calling evolve. Cowboy Mike, he said PG3 will have more yards than CD. PG. George Pickens? Okay, got you. Yeah. Mo3, appreciate that super chat. He said, I'll be there in November, birthday on the 21st. Yeah. My wife trying to get me to go to one of them games, man. I'm thinking about it, but boy, you can tell everybody expect the Cowboys to win this year, boy. Them game prices are just crazy. Ice Cold said we getting 12 wins. Hey, that'd be more like it. Yeah. Bad said, looking back on it, I'm shocked we won 7 games with Ebel losing. Yeah. Boy. Self-sabotage. Bazzy9, he said 11 wins to be exact. As long as it's double digits, I'm good. There will be blood. Yep, he needs to have a North Turner mindset. Yeah. Yep. The lunatic, he said, Demo said Schotty learns from his mistakes, and having Christian Parker as a sounding board to see how he would attack his offense is a good combo. Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, that's going to be his challenge, Bass, is to take advantage of the pieces that he has, because he's got a lot of pieces. Man, he got a lot of pieces, man. He really does. Yep, I'm all with you. I've been saying the same thing, Alan the Rebel. Turpin needs to be the gadget guy. Let him be the gadget guy again. I think he's more effective when he's the gadget guy. Young Merc, he said, buy him last minute, G. We get them cheap here in Dallas right before the kick. That's what I may have to do. man, them ticket prices are crazy, bro. Ticket prices is crazy.
Being more involved in special teams, being really the head coach and in charge of all three phases, and having a handle of that. I think, the personnel side of it has been good for me to dive back into the 3-4 world. And then practice schedules, meetings. I'm a big guy on don't rinse and repeat, and try to change things up. But we'll make some adjustments to some of the practice schedules we do for training camp and things like that. Some of our daily schedule, and even the way we practice during the season. So all those things have come from me doing after action reports of myself, but also talking to some of my peers and asking them how they do it. Guys have been doing it for a number of years, and I've been fortunate to have some really good conversations with people.
John Machado with The Athletic. Tyler Guyton mentioned last week Tyron Smith being around a little bit. What do you think that's done, and what do you think of stuff like that?
Yeah, I love it. I remember when Tyron announced his retirement, talking to Tyler Guyton, and Tyler Guyton telling me, I didn't know this, but that was his idol. Tyler Guyton idolizes Tyron, and rightfully so. Incredible player, and but I think the thing about Tyron is the understanding of fundamentals and techniques and what it takes to play offensive tackle at a high level. When you've got some young players like Tyler Guyton, Nate Thomas, Drew Shelton, why wouldn't you want a guy that's still in the area, still loves the Cowboys to come and be around? It's a win-win for us, and any chance Tyron gets to be here, we want him to be around.
And then, obviously, a lot of receivers on your roster right now. What do you look for when you look at maybe that bottom of what's going to make the 53, like a 5th, 6th receiver?
Special teams, man. As you guys know, when you get through those first 3 guys, 4 and 5 have to have special teams value. I'll be bragging about a couple guys now, but Ryan Florno, I really think, is taking the next step. I think he's got a chance to be a terrific receiver in this league.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
He's shown up for us on special teams in a big way. MVS, Valdez-Scantling's doing an awesome job. He has to play special teams. He knows that. He hasn't done that a whole lot. So we've talked to him about that. He's got the speed to be a gunner.
Man, after listening to this part of Brian Schottenheimer talk today, I'm like, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to make this team. I really didn't think Valdez was going to make this team. I'll be honest with you. I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think. I really thought Valdez was a camp body, but it seems like they got plans for Valdez. And for some reason, it just seems to me that maybe they're thinking he's the safety valve or something in case something goes wrong with GP. Because you would think they'd have Ryan Flanoy lined up on the outside, but he's been lined up in the slot, and Valdez has been on the outside. So I guess they're saying with the speed that Valdez possesses, if something were to happen, they want him on the outside. And, Valdez, we already know. Valdez's issue is dropping passes. I mean, dropping passes is his issue. Yeah, Bass said MVS on the hands team. Are they serious? Did we not see this dude on all them other teams, the hands team? Lord, and you know what? And it sounds like I say he could make the team. It don't mean he gonna make the team. I say it sounds like he could make the team. I mean, you're talking about a player of Marquez Valdez-Scantling's age playing on special teams. And I do believe they're playing special teams. Yeah, he could be that guy, be a gunner to get down there. And I don't know. It just seems like he's about to, it definitely seems like he could make the team. Christian Legal said he has incredible speed. I think that's what they like. Bazzy 9, I said the same thing. Couldn't even crack the Bills off a wide receiver group. I said the same thing. And that's one of the reasons why he's not with Kansas City. But maybe they want to use him to try to block punts as a maybe they'll put him in if they want to block punts. See if he can come in from the outside and block punts. I mean, it really sounds like this dude may make the team. It's crazy. Ice Cold said Scantling dropping more than the ball. He fumbled his whole career with those parquet hands. Yes. Bassett, give me straight. He says almost, and I mean almost as stupid as putting Zeke at center. Boy, man, we're gonna see. I'm gonna sit back and wait and see on this one because I keep saying I don't think he's gonna make the squad, but I mean they keep acting like he's got a place.
But really, when you get through that first, 40, low 40 number, those last 10, 9, 8 roster spots is going to come down to special teams. And
honestly, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys roster, it's a 53-man roster. If you look at the Dallas Cowboys roster is already full all the way up until about, what do you think, 42? Maybe 42, 43? There are not many spots on this team. There's just not many spots. I mean, there are some guys right now, right now, they already know there's two alternatives. Cut and go to the practice squad or cut and go to somebody else's team. Because this roster, when you look at the draft from last year, some of the trades they've made, and the draft this year, the Cowboys' 53-man roster is pretty much already filled. Bottom line, including wide receiver. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Ryan Flanoy, Kevontae Turpin. If you're going to go with 6, you just drafted a wide receiver. He's going to be on the team, I believe. That literally leaves one spot. Can Mingo get that spot? Because reality to me, they're all fighting for one spot. That's all they're fighting for. I believe they're all fighting for one spot. That's it. 2, maybe. But I think they're really fighting for one spot. So it's going to be tough.
I think that's a big part of it.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. What's been the biggest either change or thing you're trying to develop on the most on the offensive side of the ball coming out of those after-action reports, and specifically here in the OTA minicamp setting? How are y'all trying to manifest that on the field?
Yeah, in terms of the offense, the evolution, it's just basically look at what we did last year and build compliments off of it, Nick.
I see that too, Marvin Mays.
Everyone that we play
Trying
early,
to
the
boost his
Giants, the
confidence.
Commanders, they're going to be studying the entire year. That's what we all do. And so, how do we complement some of the things that we did really, really well? That's
up,
a big
JP
part of
Good?
it. You'll see a big emphasis on ball security for us. Again, I say it, I think, every time I'm up here, and it's because it disgusts me, -9. It's awful. And, we got to protect the football better on offense. We got to take it away on defense. But that's an area where we need to make a big jump. And, so last year we really didn't spend a lot of time doing ball security circuits. So are you going to repeat history? No, you're going to do something about it. And so I think, Clayton, Derek Foster, the offensive staff, L-Dub, they've done a great job of coming up with different ball security circuits where we're teaching guys not only how to protect the football, head, body, tail, clasp it in traffic, but getting the ball in the outside arm. It's basic fundamentals, like where you see a guy carrying the ball in the outside arm versus the inside arm. And when it's in the outside arm, it's nearer to the sideline, it's protected. If it's in the inside arm, it's more vulnerable. And so there's things like that we're doing.
Realm of crypto, you actually make a good point. And I guess my only pushback would be the reason why Mingo is on the team is we gave him a 4th-round draft pick for him. Hey, realm of crypto, bro. Hey, Jonathan Mingo is what you call a principal issue, bro. I mean, it's principalities in this thing, man. When you give him a 4th-round draft pick, realm of crypto, come on, man. You know how the Cowboys operate. I don't think they're going to be operating like this in the future. But the way they've operated, come on, realm of crypto, it's principalities, man. Cowboys deal with principalities on this one. It's a 4th-round pick, bro. They didn't give up anything for Valdez Scantling, but they gave him a 4th-round pick for Mingo. Shoot. Man, this thing with Mingo is disappointing. A 4th-round pick? I mean, that's where you kind of get some of your meat and potatoes in a draft. Shoot. Man. 4th round, man, you can get some good players in the 4th round. We got Mingo up in here, man, ain't even letting this dude hit the field. And obviously he can't get on the field. He can't get on the field. Hey, it's like Master P said, Realm of Crypto. It's like Master P said, man. I guess we're gonna probably have to finally just say with Jonathan Mingo, hey man, we're gonna have to charge you to the game, bro. we're gonna have to charge you to the game, Realm of Crypto. But the Cowboys struggling to give away that 4th round pick on Mingo, boy. They got hope. Boy, they got hope, man. They struggling with that 4th round. They struggling with a 4th round pick. I'm telling you, that's what they say every time we talk about Mingo. But it was a 4th round pick. And I'm with you, Baz. I don't know why the Cowboys hate 4th round picks, man. I don't know why they hate 4th round picks.
Doing a deep dive into getting fixed.
And a couple of year 2 guys, Phil Moffa and Savone Rebel. How have you seen the development of those 2 guys?
Yeah, Phil's right there in the thick of the battle to work behind Javonte Williams along with Jaydon. Both those guys are very good players, both young. I think Phil's body, when you see him out there, he looks great. He's done a really good job of just, getting his body where it needs to be going into year 2. Last year he had the shoulders that he was, a little bit limited with some of the training he could do. And for Von, it's really been just kind of diving in with CP and Derek Ansley and the secondary guys and learning the techniques. And the biggest thing we're doing with Von right now is trying to, get him to where he's trusting his speed, his ability to make up, his ability to use his hands. And he can't just be a press corner. He's very good at press, but we're also going to ask him to do some other things in this system and something that he really probably hasn't done before. So a lot of time on the grass and in the meeting rooms working on some of those skill sets, and then once we get going in pads, just we want to see Von turn it loose.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm very excited for Phil Moffa. I'm telling you, Brian Schottenheimer likes big running backs. Hey, Phil Moffa, he fits the bill. Hey, Dominique said after there to say, we had a 2nd round grade on Mango. He said, I don't see 2nd round grade. Well, Dominique, my question is not that the Cowboys had a 2nd round grade. I want to know who in the front office had that 2nd round grade. That's what I want to know. Who had that 2nd round grade in the front office, bro? JCT, what's going on? He said, I've got hope in this team because of Dak and those wide receivers. They can cover up a lot of how many points they put up. We still have 4. Yes, sir. JP the Goog, bro. JP the Goog, I'm just telling you. Hey. I'm sorry, Bass. Forgive me, bro. I'm sorry, man. I be letting the hood come out of me sometimes, man. Sorry. Sorry, Bass, man. I had to, hey, man, got Mango, man. Mango can't get on the field, bro. I ain't making fun of him, but Mango can't get on the field, man. The Cowboys just gonna have to, hey, man, I know it's principalities is this smoking. But, man, hey, man, it's a 4th round pick. You ever bought something sometime and you don't get a chance to eat it and you wind up wasting your money? Man, sometimes I do that and I just tell my wife, I be like, hey, we don't wasted money on more. So sometimes you just gotta waste. Sometimes you just gotta call it what it is, man. Sometimes you just waste money. It is what it is. Real Crypto, he said the Cowboys have been operating like this for years. He said, I've never liked that. He said, I remember when Hambrick took over for Emmett, the guy was bad, but just because he was the 2nd running back and Jerry guy, he started. You know what? I'm glad, though. It seems like Brian is getting some of that. It seems like Brian is getting some of that out of here. It is. I mean, he said, that's who I'm talking about. G. Jerry fixes raggedy mouth praising Mango. Bro, I'm serious, bro. I wonder who had a 2nd round grade on this, man, because I believe, man, I wonder if Mike McCarthy had a 2nd round grade on it, man. I wonder if he had a 2nd round grade on it. Shoot, man, JP the Goog, man, sometimes you got to charge it to the game like Master P said, man. Sometimes you just got to admit you wasted your money, bro. Throw it in the trash, man.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. From when you guys got Joe Milton last year to this point and watching him play in the preseason and the regular season, where have you seen him progress the most?
I would probably say understanding our protections. Some of the things we do from a protectional standpoint is different than he did certainly in college, but even in New England in terms of solving problems and some of our referred to as trouble series versus certain blitz looks and blitz pickups, and I think he's grown tremendously. And I think that's the main thing a quarterback needs to understand is protection, because if you don't know when you're protected or when you're not, that's a problem. And so, especially with the way the game's being played now, with all the simulated pressures, and you see defenses doing a lot more. They're dropping known defensive linemen out, and so the number count or changing the math is real. But that's been one of the biggest things. The other thing I would say, because he's such a good athlete, that he's adapted to now is his training of the footwork.
Kobe Durant last year played a lot of outside. What does an ideal role for him look like in this defense? Do you want him out there? He can play the slot too, or you mixing and matching? What would the ideal thing look for him?
Yeah, again, I think it's too early to say that. I mean, I've been studying the league a little bit, and for example, I've been watching some teams that have played the Rams.
Chris, look out. Who is Sloquez Bridges and Mingo? Who is Sloquez Bridges? Who you talking about? Yeah, I hope they bring back Clowney, but I don't think they're going to bring back Clowney, man. I don't think they're going to bring back Clowney. We'll see what happens, but I don't think they're going to bring him back. Yeah, I don't think they're going to bring him back, man. Yeah, backbreaker, I disagree with it. I think they are close. We just got to see what the defensive side of the ball look like. But the offense is a championship offense. There's no doubt about it. It's a top 3 offense. I mean, it's absolutely a championship level offense. Just got to see what the defense is. Christian Legal, let me tell you too. You said you wouldn't protect Milton. Let me tell you what he's really saying about Milton. What he's really saying about Milton recognizing the protection is that every time Joe Milton hears some footsteps, he don't pull the ball down and just try to run a touchdown. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying about about Joe Milton.
Their early opponents that played them last year and studying, and the one thing that Kobe shows up on is obviously incredible ball skills. A couple interceptions against Seattle that I remember, excellent tackler, but he's good at both. And what I love about him is the command, the way he communicates is elite, and I think the guy's a damn good football player that we're really excited about to find whatever that role is. I think the versatility is what makes him so exciting.
Dave Loffenberg, Cowboys Radio Network, 105.3 The Fan. So, Brian, obviously you had Christian Parker in the room, played against him 2 times last year. I'm assuming you've sat down with him and have him give his views on how they attacked you and what he saw last year. How beneficial has that been for you, and anything enlightening about what he talked about in terms of how they approached your offense?
CP and I talk basically every day about different things, and usually when, he and I are 2 of the later guys here, so when the day kind of unwinds and we're finishing up, I'll go in and sit for, sometimes 20, 30, 40 minutes, and we'll just talk about different things, how the day went, what were some of the changes maybe that they made after the practice film, if I don't get in there for the practice film, babe. And but yeah, we've talked about all that. We've talked about how they attacked us, how they played us, how Vic sees us. I'm not going to tell you all the things that we've discussed, again, CP is way more than just he gets tagged with the moniker of Vic, but he's way more than just a Vic Fangio disciple, and he loves Vic, and Vic to me is one of the best, if not the best in the league right now. And but CP's knowledge of football in general is a great asset to our staff and our football team.
Oh, wait a minute, boy. Hey, Pooba D, Christian Legal is calling Troy-Quez Bridges Slow-Quez Bridges. Boy, Pooba D, I know Pooba D will appreciate that, boy. Boy, that doggone Troy-Quez Bridges had us fooled in that Denver Bronco game, bro. Troy-Quez Bridges got that doggone interception. Boy, after that, Sean Payton took it personal, boy. They went after Troy-Quez Bridges. Okay, Slow-Quez Bridges. Yeah, I don't think he'll make the team this year. Sandy's Fan Show, I think that MVS has had critical drops throughout his career. Yeah, I'm with you, Mo 3. Don't cry over spilled milk, man. Sometimes you just got to charge it to the game, bro. Sometimes you drop your favorite, something that's very... You drop something that's very fragile and break it, man. Don't even cry about it, bro. Sometimes it just happens. Bottom line. JP the Goog said, I like the old new Jimmy John and Scotty and Dad Playbook with Schotty Relatable Connection Program. So if you don't fit the culture, God bless, but don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. Yeah. Yeah, Poopy D, I figured you'd say that Bridges is horrible. Said this fan shows that Sean Payton is watching Triquez Bridges right now. Oh, I said the same thing, bro. Man, that dude was sharing locations with Triquez Bridges, bro. Sean Payton took that, boy, he took that personal, bro.
Brad.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio, 105.3 The Fan. When you're talking about the turnover margin, are you, don't say both, are you more concerned with improving
Both.
the way, not say both, are you more
How you gonna tell the man how to answer before you ask the question? Come on, man. You ask the question, let the man answer how you want to. Stop it, bro. Stop it, Brad Sham. Much respect for Brad Sham, but come on, man. Stop that kind of stuff, bro.
concerned with improving the way you protect the ball or improving the rate at which you took it away?
Now, let's listen to what this man said. Brad Sham said, and don't say both. Well, he just asked him, he said, are you more concerned with the way, at the rate you took away the ball or the rate you gave away the ball? Why wouldn't it be both? Why wouldn't it be both? You want to take the ball away more than you give the ball away. And one of the ways to do that is to give the ball away less. Even if you didn't give the ball away a lot. I mean, what's the threshold? I mean, do you want to give the ball away, 15 times and take it away 20 times? No, you want to give it away if you can. You want to take it away. I mean, you want to give it away less than 10 times. And you want to take it away more than 30 times. It is both. Why wouldn't it be both? That is hilarious to me, bro. Come on, Brad Sham. Man, talk about it. Don't say both. That's why I'm glad Schotty said both. That's why I'm glad he said both, man. Come on, Brad Sham.
Well, if you're not going to let me say what I want to say, I'm going to start with if you don't give it up, then you're not going to lose the turnover battle.
Exactly. If you're not going to let me say what I want to say, stop it, Brad Sham.
The rate at which you took it away.
Well, if you're not going to let me say what I want to say.
Exactly.
I'm going to start with if you don't give it up, then you're not going to lose the turnover battle, right? So if we don't turn the ball over, it's going to be zeros, right? So I would say that. And again, we proved it last year, Brad, that, we could go 4 straight games without a turnover. And there was too many multiple turnover games on offense. We were sloppy. We were careless with the ball. Mostly as ball carriers. A couple of them were on really third and long, like situation where we're checking the ball down. We're going to probably punt, and we ended up losing possession of the ball. So, since you won't let me say what I want to say, I'm going to say, securing the ball.
Okay, and following up on that, I don't know the statistic. I don't know if you had the fewest PBUs in the league last year, but if you didn't, you were pretty close. How much intrinsically does the new way you're going to be playing defense address that?
Yeah, well, I'll just say this, and it's OTAs, and you're limited with what you can do, but I'm thrilled about where our pass defense is right now. The flexibility, the versatility of flipping the clouds and changing that up, and the disguise. Last year certainly wasn't good enough in the back half. It wasn't just coaches, it wasn't just players, it was all of us. And so, but where we stand today, 4 installs in, going into 5. If you look at this style of defense historically, they've always been in the top 10 or so, if not higher, in pass defense. And there's a reason for that.
Man, you really got to focus in on what Brian Schottenheimer did in bringing in Christian Parker. Because when I think back to what Quinnen Williams said about the Christian Parker defense, and you think about how they're talking about this defense, they're really talking kind of nonchalantly about it if you pay attention. PJ Locke was basically saying it's the same thing that basically we ran in Denver, or the same thing that Fangio runs. So it's the same type of defense. And, he was kind of like, yeah, there are some nuances, but it's the same defense. And then Quinnen Williams said something that I thought was very interesting. If y'all remember Quinnen Williams' interview, he kind of let the cat out of the bag too. It's the same defense that a lot of these teams are now running in the NFL. And Quinnen also said, and being very successful with it. The Seattles are running this defense. The Denvers, the Eagles. There's quite a few teams that are running this defense that Christian Parker is running, even though Christian Parker will probably put his own little nuances on it. But in the grand scheme of things, this really helps the Dallas Cowboys, because Brian Schottenheimer will not only have insight on the Philadelphia Eagles, but because the Hawks are running this offense. The Rams, I believe, will be running a similar type of offense. Other teams the Cowboys will play this year will play this similar type of offense, that it's going to help Brian Schottenheimer better prepare for this type of offense. I mean, it really is helping them, and it's going to help him evolve his offense into the 20th century. It really is. It really is. So you got to think about how strategic it is what he did. He not only hired him because of the ilk that he comes from, or the coaching tree that he comes from, but he also got him because it helps his whole team get up to speed on what these younger coaches are doing. It's great. It's absolutely great what they're doing. It's great.
Joe White, Dallas Morning News. Jaydon Blue was pretty candid at the end of last year about the learning curve to be a professional and how he wanted to improve that going into year two. Obviously, the offseason is a big kind of check marker for that as well. How did he kind of approach that, and what have you seen so far from him in terms of that?
I think he's doing great. Came back with a different look than what he had his rookie year. I think most rookies have to figure it out. I thought he and I had a very candid conversation. Joe, at the exit interviews, we just kind of put it all out there. Put all cards on the table. He didn't like being inactive, and I was very honest with my opinion of why he wasn't active, and so we had some really great conversations. And he took that, and he ingested it, took it in, and he's come back with a great look on his face and a great work ethic, and intelligence is off the charts. I mean, the guy is football brilliant. He really is. And obviously you see the speed and explosiveness. He's going to be a huge part of what we want to do, but he's got to continue to do his part, which he's doing great right now. So I would say night and day from where he was last year.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Night and day from what he was last year. Let's hear that part again.
Blue was pretty candid at the end of last year about the learning curve to be professional and how he wanted to improve that going into year two. Obviously, the offseason is a big kind of check marker for that as well. How did he kind of approach that, and what have you seen so far from him in terms of that?
I think he's doing great. Came back with a different look than what he had his rookie year. I think most rookies have to figure it out. I thought he and I had a very candid conversation. Joe, at the
I'm
exit
excited,
interviews.
man.
We just kind of put it all out there. Put all cards on the table. He didn't like being inactive, and I was very honest with my opinion of why he wasn't active, and so we had some really great conversations. And he took that, and he ingested it, took it in, and he's come back with a great look on his face and a great work ethic, and intelligence is off the charts. I mean, the guy is football brilliant. He really is. And obviously you see the speed and explosiveness. He's going to be a huge part of what we want to do. Yeah. But he's got to continue to do his part, which he's doing great right now. So I'd say night and day from where he was last year.
Now we have it confirmed. Now we have it confirmed, Kimberly Hunt. I believe we have it confirmed. The reason why Jaydon Blue was not on the field last year was not because of performance. It was because of his attitude. And I'm telling you, I think what really made Brian Schottenheimer mad is when he came out there in them Louis Vuitton cleats. I'm telling you, I think it made him mad, bro. I'm telling you, I think it made him mad because it would have made me mad. We coming out here in practice. You out here in practice in some Louis Vuitton cleats. This is what we doing now. Louis Vuitton. And everybody know, as far as I know, everybody know Louis Vuitton don't make no doggone cleats, man. Boy, if you don't get your fake Louis Vuitton cleats out of here, bro. And then to add insult to injury, you know they wasn't real cleats. Went out there and put bunions and corns and bruises all over his feet. Stop this nonsense, Jaydon Blue. You gotta earn the right to wear Louis Vuitton cleats, bro. You don't come in your first practices in Louis Vuitton cleats, bro. I'm about to clown you today. I'm serious. I'm gonna clown you today, man. Bro, come on, man. You out here in Louis Vuitton cleats, bro. I don't care if it's 707, bro. I might actually take a couple of hits at you, bro. I'm serious. I'm serious, bro. Could you imagine being a vet on the team and Jaydon Blue trotting his butt out there in them Louis Vuitton cleats? I'm like, Puff, yo, get your... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yo, get your butt out of here, boy. What the world are you doing? Boy, we don't wear no Louis Vuitton cleats in practice, bro. Shoot, you got to earn the right to wear some Louis Vuitton cleats up in here. And then didn't even get the cushion in them things. Didn't even get the cushion in them things right. Couldn't even practice because his feet was all burnt up. I think Antonio Brown did something similar over there with the dang on Raiders. Had him some special shoes made. Y'all remember that when Antonio Brown messed up that $100 million deal with the Raiders? He couldn't practice because he did something to his feet. I don't know if it was some shoes. He had some special shoes or something going on. It had all the doggone skin peeled off his feet. Man, get your butt out of here with that stuff, Jaydon Blue. Man, I'm telling you, them Louis Vuitton cleats, I'm telling you right now, I bet you every time Brian Schottenheimer thought about Jaydon Blue, he thought about them Louis Vuitton cleats, bro. I mean, talk about them cleats. Boy, sit your butt down somewhere with that nonsense, bro. Just pure craziness, man. Hey, I tell you this, if I was him, I'd come out this season with some no name brand cleats out there. That's what I'm coming out there with, baby. Coming out there with some no name brand cleats. Boy, man, let me tell you something, man. Ain't nothing make guys on a football team matter than somebody coming out. I mean, you coming out, it's your first year, you're rookie, you're coming out there practicing, bro, and you coming out there, you got a Louis Vuitton towel, Louis Vuitton belt, Louis Vuitton cleats and socks. I mean, you all into your dress in practice? Bro, come on, man. Come on, stop this nonsense, bro. Stop this nonsense, bro. Stop this, bro. Shoot. Boy, Brady, come, you ain't lying. You might as well wear Timberlands in the game, bro. Come. Boy, it's doggone crazy, bro. Man, before you even make a mark out there on the field, you wear Louis Vuitton cleats. Bro, sit yourself down. Because if I'm not mistaken, Antonio Brown did something similar when he was with the Raiders. Do y'all remember that on Hard Knocks? Antonio Brown had some kind of special shoes. Let me see if I can look that up while I'm going to let Schotty talk.
PJ Locke spent some time with Caleb Downs after practice. He said they've been doing that every single day. In terms of what you were hoping to get with PJ Locke, how much was the leadership, veteran kind of experience component a part of that? Yeah,
it was a big part of it. CP had him in Denver, knew more about him than I did. I will say this, I've shared with you guys, I've been taking, 8, 9, 10 guys to dinner most Tuesdays, and one of the nights that we went, that PJ was there, listening to him talk to the rookies.
Okay, Antonio Brown, it wasn't the shoes. This knucklehead had cryotherapy. He had cryotherapy and messed his feet up. Boy, y'all remember that, man? Man, that cryotherapy and messed up his feet. It's pure craziness, bro. And why he didn't, and why Jaydon Blue didn't have cryotherapy, I'm sorry. Putting blue Louis Vuitton shoes on your feet is the same thing to me. I'm sorry.
And explain his story and his journey, you know, from Pittsburgh to undrafted, all the different things that he had to deal with, to not thinking, shoot, am I ever going to make it in this league, and all those things. And the insight that he brings to this locker room is, I think, invaluable. And having the insight is one thing, but being willing to share it and talk. As much as I literally called Brian Wansley the next morning and said, hey, you need to have PJ Locke talk to the rookies. Because I think there was 3 or 4 rookies there that night. But I was like, they all need to hear his story and what he's about. And he's just a terrific young man.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Christian Legal got me rolling up in here. Boy, I'm sorry, Christian Legal. You bringing me back to about when I was a kid, bro. Chris Legal said he didn't come out here some Rawlings cleats. Boy, hold on a second. Do y'all remember playing Little League? Now, Rawlings used to make some great football equipment. But if you came out in some Rawlings cleats, bro, boy, you get laughed up out of here, man. I'm sorry. He said put on some Rawlings cleats. Shoot, I was growing up, they used to give you cleats at school. They gave you cleats at school. They were no name brand, but everybody had the same cleats. They look nice too, all white. Bo3 said, y'all don't remember those Dorset cover cleats. I don't remember them. The Dorset covers cleats. Bass said he remembered them Converse cleats, man. I don't remember them, bro. I don't remember them. I'm gonna see if I can look them up, watch Schotty talk. Let's see. Go ahead.
Hey, Brian, you kind of dealt with different contract situations throughout your time with the Cowboys. CD missed a lot of the program in 24, Micah last year, and George this year. Kind of what have you learned about your role in helping players or interacting players like George's situation this year?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, Garrett, my job is to just be upfront and honest with these guys, and that's what we did with George. You know, we made it very clear to George we're not going to do an extension, and we're so thrilled about, you know, him being a part of this football team. And, you know, that's all I know to do. I just know to be upfront and honest. And, you know, if he's upset and frustrated and angry, I get that. Let's talk about it. But, like, all we can do is be upfront and honest with these guys. And I think they respect that. I think they like that. And, you know, it certainly is something I think that's important because, you know, we need to have the close working relationship. It's business. It's nothing personal. You know, I'm thrilled when George comes walking through these doors, hopefully next week, and I expect to see him next week. But what he can do for this football team on the field is unmatched in a lot of regards. But I'm really excited to see the step he takes from a leadership and influence standpoint.
You've done a great job. You mentioned the dinners on Tuesdays. You went to DeMarvin Overshown's wedding. You went to Micah's bowling philanthropy last offseason. What's it been like trying to engage George outside of the facility in some of the ways you've already mentioned?
No, it's been great. You know, GP and I, from the time he got here, we've had a great relationship and good communication. You know, this time of year is always fun because it's busy and guys got a lot of things going. I love getting out and about. Like, I had a ball at Demo's wedding. It was great to see some of our former players. Mozzie Smith was there. Jalen Brooks was there. It was great to see those guys. And, you know, what I told our players on Monday, we showed some highlights of the you know, videos. I think Clarence had posted most of them. So, you know, we showed some of those videos. And but I just told them, I said, hey, guys, look around this room, the team meeting room. These guys are in your life forever. You know what I mean? So this is not a 2026 Dallas Cowboys. These guys are your brothers for life.
Calvin.
A quick follow-up on Pickens. Obviously, players want to be secured contractually long term. So when you said to him, we're not going to extend you right now, what was his reaction?
I'm not going to share that with you guys. We had a real honest conversation. And
yeah, we already know what the reaction was. Do you really have to ask somebody what was the reaction? I mean, that's the kind of reaction. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, you start talking to me about, you not extending me. I mean, that's the kind of stuff right there that'll make you turn a chair over in somebody's office. I'm serious. I mean, you're young, immature. I mean, you're going to show that emotion. And I'm sure he didn't turn over a chair, but that would really make somebody upset. And, for Brian to say he's not going to share it, it's a very intimate moment, number one. But number two, you really going to, what you want him to tell you? Yeah, Kevin Watkins, he cried when we told him. No, it ticked him off, bro. Man, I know they got, I guess they have to ask some of these questions. I guess these are what they call provocative questions. Come on, man. What you mean, how did he respond? How'd you respond when you told your job you needed a raise and they didn't give it to you? How'd you respond? I mean, come on, man.
It was me, George, and Jerry. And again, we made it very clear how much we love him.
And I told y'all this the other day. Can we please stop discounting that Brian Schottenheimer is a part of these decisions? We act like when the decision is made not to negotiate any longer with George Pickens, we blame that all on Jerry and Steven. Have we ever thought that Brian Schottenheimer is in on a lot of these decisions and in agreement? In agreement. Who knows? He could absolutely be leading the charge on that decision. But I tell you this, he's definitely taking responsibility. He's not leaving Jerry Jones out to dry and say it's business only. No. He's not saying, yeah, Jerry said we're not. No, we decided. We decided. Me and Jerry talked to him. I'm just telling y'all we better stop discounting that Brian be in on these decisions like this.
And what he's done for us here and what we expect he's going to do for us for a long time. And so I just remember him, being, appreciative of us being upfront and honest.
Real quick one.
Now, that last part. This is why I believe that George Pickens will get an extension. And I'm still saying he can get an extension by July the 15th. If I was George Pickens, I would pull a Brandon Aubrey. I would go to my agent and tell him, one, my priority is to stay in Dallas. Number two, this is the number that I feel comfortable with. Negotiation or not, if I'm George Pickens, I'm letting the Dallas Cowboys know this is the number that I would be comfortable with. I've looked at what the numbers look like. I've done the math. I've done the math if I were to go to Los Angeles. I've done the math if I went to New York. I've done the math if I went to Chicago. I've done the math if I were to go to all of these teams that have all of these luxury taxes, these, the millionaire taxes, the state taxes, and cost of living. I've done all my math. And in doing all my math, I could take a lesser deal in Dallas and stay here rather than going there and make less money with the taxes and anything else. And I'm going to keep in my mind, not only would I make less there, or even if I got more money, it'd be the same money. I wouldn't be playing with CeeDee Lamb. I wouldn't be playing with Dak Prescott. I wouldn't be playing in a culture that helped me improve. No, I would tell my agent, let's do all this math, see what it comes up with. This is the number that I'm comfortable with, and I wouldn't care if the Cowboys were negotiating or not. I would send an offer sheet across the bow and say, this is what I want. $36 million a year to stay in Dallas with $80 to $90 million fully, not total, $80 to $90 million fully guaranteed. Send that over and see what the Cowboys say. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I wouldn't care if they were not negotiating. They're going to know what I want. They are going to know what I want in Dallas if I'm George Pickens. One, I want to stay with the Cowboys. Two, this is the number I'm comfortable with. If I'm George Pickens and if I really want to stay in Dallas, I'm not playing all these games. I'm not even dealing with the Mulugeta getting me all the money that I can. No, Mulugeta, let me tell you what your job is. I want you to figure up what would be the taxes if I went to these particular states to play and they paid me, let's say, $40 million a year. What would it be after taxes? And then I want you to give me what it would be to stay in Dallas. What would the minimum be to make the same money or actually even more in Dallas without all those taxes? Oh, no, they're going to know what I want. The Cowboys would know what I want. I would send that sheet over. This is George Pickens' career. It may be Mulugeta's reputation, but it's George Pickens' career in life. And this is the best place for George Pickens. I don't think there's a better place in the NFL for George Pickens. I don't. I think this is the place. Tell him what you want. That's what I would do.
Is it fair to say that your scouts looked at Leah Fowl a little differently than your previous two coordinators?
Yeah, I won't compare the two. I will say this: I think the minute that we got into a room with the defensive staff, with Chidera and CP, there was a lot of love for Maris. He's so disruptive with his length and his ability to set edges, and he's having a great camp. And I think that's where we saw him. That's where this staff saw him. And so. But he does give you flexibility as well. But it was pretty early on when we were having personnel discussions that decision was made.
Sorry.
I really think that Maurice Leofau is going to struggle to make it with this team. I really think he's going to struggle. I think there's a lot of competition on this team. I think he's going to struggle to play. I just do. I think he's going to struggle to play when you look at what the Cowboys have brought in.
Sorry, this is The Athletic. Brian, last year you mentioned that this time was a lot of setting aside time for getting to know guys, things like that. Sounds like you're doing the same this year. Just what have you learned from what you got out of that last year? How did it translate in the long term? And, what are you kind of going about this year?
Yeah, I think my hope would be that these guys know I love them and I care about them, and my door is always open. I remember last year at different points throughout the season, there'd be a guy or two that would pop in and close the door, and we would sit down and we'd talk about things outside of football that were maybe messy in their worlds and they needed help with. And I was humbled and honored that they trusted me enough to come and sit there. I'm always upfront and honest with those guys about my story, my journey, my scars, and I think that's what it gives you. It gives you the ability to have them trust you, love you, care about you. You love and care about them back, and then at the same time you're able to have hard conversations and tell them things that they don't necessarily want to hear, but they know that you're a straight shooter, you're an honest, good person that has their best interest at heart.
Like you go to a lot of dinners. Have you got a routine in terms of, what you're doing there, what you're getting, things like that?
And I try to change it up. I'm not going to tell you guys where we're going to go because Clarence will be there, Calvin probably too. But it's good. It's I really, I don't eat a lot. I just stir up conversations. My wife will tell you this. I'm the first one when we go to dinner. I'm going to always be the one that asks a question and challenge the room about something. So it starts pretty quick when they sit down. But it's been great, and I think we've hit almost 35 to 40 guys so far, and I don't think I'm going to get all 91, but I'm
What's
doing
going
my
on,
best.
Eckers Michelle?
Clarence, 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. You keep saying, I hope Pickens there, and you say expect him. Have you had any conversation, assurance that you think he's going to be here, or you're just hoping because or expecting because it's mandatory?
No, I mean, my conversation with George have been positive, just about life in general. So I expect and hope he'll be here. I mean, hope and expect the same thing. I mean, I can't make anybody do something that they want to do. But yeah, no, he's not committed that to me. But I expect he'll be here.
Jalen Thompson injured. Did you have that before, or did it happen here?
Yeah, it happened here. Yeah, just minor pec strain.
Same thing with Hennessy.
Yeah, a strange deal. Was hitting a sled and had some tightness. And after doing an evaluation, we felt like it was best to get ahead of it and deal with it now, so we could get him back as soon as possible. Good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, And Dominique said it was kind of word salad. Bass said it was kind of word salad. Yeah, you know, it all depends on the salad, man. I eat a different type of salad, you know. I mean, I had a salad the other day over at the Mexican cafe over here by my house, and my salad had fajita beef on it. So, you know, it all depends on what kind of salad, you know. I mean, what else can they give us at this time of the year? They just know they can't reveal a lot of the game plan and stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just to keep us entertained a little bit. But, you know, my takeaway from the Schotty presser is I absolutely loved what they were saying about Jaydon Blue. And I had said this before. I thought Jaydon Blue was going to be a huge part of the Cowboys playing in 2026. And so I'm kind of like, okay, it's kind of what I was thinking, that they drafted Jaydon Blue and Phil Maffa for a reason. So they're going to give him an opportunity. And did I not tell y'all this? Brian Schottenheimer said it nonchalantly. We already know what Malik Davis is. And so with Malik Davis, what he's telling me is, okay, we already know what we have in Malik Davis. So he's kind of like, if nothing else works, or if we can't get anybody else. But what we're really looking at is Jaydon Blue and Phil Maffa. So it is what it is. Man, hold on a second. Let me put this back up here for a minute. What's going on, Larry Golden? So Mo3 said, y'all don't remember those Tony Dorsett Converse cleats. Man, let me tell you something. Until you said something about those cleats, oh my gosh. Mo3, I used to beg my parents for these cleats, man. Man, I used to beg for these cleats. I was a huge Tony Dorsett fan when I was growing up, man. These cleats were so fire. These cleats were so fire. These cleats today would be fire, man. Let me show y'all these cleats. These cleats were fire back in the day, man. What? These joints? Man. These joints? Boy, if you had these cleats right here, bro, what? Cleats right there were crazy, boy. Boy, them cleats were crazy, Ice Cold. Ice Cold, boy, I was begging for them cleats right there, bro. I was begging for them cleats right there, man. Those cleats were fire. Those were fire, man. Ben said, he said, yeah, I knew you had to know what those were. He said, bro, brought me back to my time in my mind. Bro, boy, hey, boy, Ice Cold. Ice Cold, I'm just going to tell you the truth, bro. You know, when I was growing up, I didn't know I was P.O. And I mean poor. I didn't know I was poor. So, you know, man, let me tell you something, bro. I could not get those cleats, bro. You see somebody with them cleats on, bro, you want to talk about envy, man. Boy, you want to talk about envy, bro? Man, shoot. Derek Posey. Bro, they were not Reebok Pulse, but Posey. Bro, just look at the technology, Posey. You would tie your shoe, Posey, and the tongue covered up the shoestring tie, bro. What? Bro, if you had these cleats, bro, you were the envy of the neighborhood with these cleats, man. Man, you were the envy of the neighborhood with these cleats. Ice Cold, boy, I used to beg for them, man. I used to beg, bro. I used to beg for these cleats, man. My parents wouldn't get them for me. In particular, my father wouldn't get them for me. My mom would have done it. Shoot. Man, Derek Posey, we thought it was the shoes. Man, I was P.O., bro. I was po, man. I was po. Man, ain't no way, man. I come from that era, bro, where you basically only got two pair of shoes. Church shoes and church shoes and school shoes. And you really didn't even get church shoes if your parents didn't go. So you really only got one pair of shoes. I mean, boy, let me tell you something, boy. Man, I remember when we used to get those, what was those, y'all remember those old Massey and Brown catalogs? I think they were. See, these young folks today, when they want something, they get to go to the internet and look at it. Back in the day, bro, we didn't have internet, Amazon. We couldn't just go look at shoes. Nah, man, we had the Massey and Brown catalogs, J.C. Penney catalogs. Man, I would just be staring at these shoes, bro. Staring at these shoes. Man, I was trying to figure out a way to scheme up on these joints, bro. Man, look at the tongue of these shoes, man. Look at the tongue of these shoes. Boy, these shoes were ridiculous back in the day. Tony Dorsett, autograph on the top. Tony Dorsett, TD Dorsett. Look at these shoes, man. This is when they played on grass. So, man, these cleats right here, man, these cleats were it, bro. These cleats were it. Yes, sir. Before East Bay Incognito, man, these were the shoes, man. These were the shoes. Ice cold, boy. I went to bed many nights looking at these shoes before I fell asleep, bro. Other folks were counting sheep, bro. I was looking at these cleats, trying to figure out a way how could I scheme up on these cleats, man. Knowing dang gone well I was poor, man. Knowing doggone well I was poor. Boy, you done brought me back, boy. Hey, I remember them cleats, bro. All right, before we move to the next segment, hold on a second. I was also trying to find those Rawlings cleats. Yeah, I remember Rawlings, man. Let me see. Rawlings cleats. What was that? Maybe that was probably around in the 80s. I don't know. Internet don't go that far back. Let me see. All right, let's look at some. It's like somebody got some on East Bay. And I guess this was kind of like the style of that Tony Dorsett cleat, because this is what they were wearing back in the day. I don't know if these are the ones y'all talking about, but this is what I found right here. They said these are the classic Rawlings cleats. It looks like they tried to mimic. It looked like they tried to mimic those Tony Dorsett cleats. Yeah, but I remember, man, if you wore Rawlings, I mean, hey, you could have a Rawlings baseball glove. You could have a Rawlings bat. You could have a Rawlings football equipment. But when it came to the shoes, if you had on Rawlings shoes, you better get ready, bro. You about to get laughed up out of there where I was from. You about to get laughed up. You about to get laughed up out of there with them Rawlings cleats, bro. You about to get rolled off with them cleats, bro. Yeah, you weren't. Hey, man, you weren't wearing these. Hey, you weren't wearing these where I were, bro. Okay, these ain't them bad. Hey, man, I don't think the internet go that far back, man. It got them Tony D cleats, but I couldn't find them Rawlings cleats, man. I tried to get them 80s. Let me see. Those are baseball. I couldn't find them. But yeah, I remember them Tony Dorsett cleats, man. Mo 3 Bay, man. You brought me back. All right, man, let's get to some more segments here today. I want to show you something that I found that I thought was very interesting. You know, I've been telling y'all for the longest, a lot of people don't realize, man, I don't think Jerry is mad at David Mulugheta because of the contracts. I think David Mulugheta is mad at Jerry Jones. I mean, Jerry Jones is mad at David Mulugheta about Micah Parsons. I think that's what he's mad at David Mulugheta. I don't think it has anything to do with the contract, per se. I think it's more about Micah Parsons getting up out of here and how him and Mulugheta devised a way for him to get up out of here. I found this the other day. This guy was talking about this on the podcast. Let me put this up here. This is very interesting what he was talking about. And I had told y'all about this before. You know, this is why I told y'all I don't believe all this stuff when Micah Parsons says that Jerry said F him because of the way he structured the contract. I mean, Jerry just kind of did probably what anybody else would do if you were negotiating with them one-on-one. They would try to swing that contract more towards them. But nevertheless, he was going to get more guaranteed money. I think it was just going to be more years. But this guy right here talks about what really happened between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. And then what really shocks me is Brian Broaddus starts to chime in on some stuff that he knew.
It seemed like,
but he actually didn't say. Check this out. I was listening to this the other day. I thought it was very interesting. Check this out.
Jerry Jones was the one in the building that was fighting for Micah Parsons the most, just from what you hear about things. Like, it seemed like...
See, him and Brian Broaddus are about to dispel this mythology. And I told y'all this. Man, Jerry Jones was in love with Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones didn't want to let go of Micah Parsons. Just had to. I mean, it got to that point.
Jerry Jones was the one in the building that was fighting for Micah Parsons the most, just from what you hear about things. Like, it seemed like everybody else in the building were like, well, let's hold off on paying him. We don't know about this. And Jerry wanted to pay him.
Chris, you're exactly right. And this was something that...
Now, watch Brian Broaddus, and I love y'all's comments in the chat asking Micah who. I love it. Now watch Brian Broaddus say some stuff that he actually knew, but he wasn't saying. He didn't want to throw fuel on the fire. But now we're finding out that Brian Broaddus knew stuff too. Listen to what he says.
We were dealing with, I do a lot of work with 105.3 The Fan. And there were people within the organization. This is 14 years of working for the Dallas Cowboys. I had people coming up to me, not off the record, but I kept it like, listen, I'm not going to expose. But there were people that are coming up telling me it was the worst idea in the world to pay him.
I told y'all this, man. I told y'all this. People, Jerry wanted this man here. And I'm telling you, had it been up to Jerry, Jerry probably still would have paid Micah Parsons. I'm telling y'all, stop discounting Brian Schottenheimer's influence in that building. Jerry is taking on the brunt of these discussions when it's other people making the decisions. Jerry is the face of those decisions, but he's not making those decisions by himself. And I truly believe, had it been up to Jerry, he'd have bowed down and paid him. I believe he would have bowed down and paid him. I believe the people around Jerry told him, don't pay Micah Parsons, including Brian Schottenheimer. I believe they said, don't pay Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons can blame Jerry Jones all he wants to because that's all he wants to do. But Brian Broaddus and this other guy, they are clearly saying, no, Jerry was the one who was fighting to pay the man. There's everybody else around him saying don't pay him.
People in the front office saying, man, this is a bad idea to pay him. And Jerry was the one guy that was really pushing it like, well, wait a minute now. Let's see if we can, let's see. But there are people that were lining up to say, and when the whole trade went down, there were people that were texting me and calling me and saying, whew, we avoided one there.
I'm telling y'all, Micah Parsons is in denial. He's in denial, and the people who hate Jerry Jones, they're in denial. Two things can be true. Jerry Jones has made some dumb decisions over the years. But Jerry Jones isn't the reason that Micah Parsons is out of here. He's not the sole reason. There were people who wanted this man absolutely gone. Love it, like it, or hate it. They wanted this man gone. All the way from the front office to players. They wanted this man gone.
Boy, that was good. And think about that.
Derek Posey, exactly, bro. I said the same thing. Derek Posey. I said the same thing, Derek Posey. Oh, he want to spill the beans now. I said the same thing, bro. I said the same thing. Broadus, and I'm going to give Broadus credit for this, because Broadus knew this stuff was obviously going on and didn't want to be the one kind of, really getting this going worse than what it already was going. Man, Broadus knew this stuff, bro. He knew this stuff.
I mean, really, the defense went south without Micah Parsons. I mean, there are a lot of things that happened, but they didn't have a good enough plan once he was gone. But you're absolutely right. There are people in the organization that were lining up and it had Jerry Jones' ear telling him that we don't need to pay this guy.
Whoa! What? What? How much you bet it was players too? How much you bet? How much do you bet it was players too? It was players too. Bass said all along, I've known both Mike and Jerry hold grudges, and Mulugeta's a Cowboys contrarian. I don't care. Now, Bass, but don't let this part pass by. It was multiple people. Broadus is saying they were in Jerry's ear. Don't pay him. Again, people are blaming this on Jerry. No, the people around Jerry was putting pressure on Jerry. And I keep telling y'all, we keep giving Brian Schottenheimer a pass. Like, oh, yeah, no, ain't no way. Shoot, because Brian wouldn't have said, you really believe it? I believe Brian Schottenheimer was one of these people. What up, Newhouse fam? I'm telling us, there was a lot of people in that organization didn't want him. There's a lot of people that in this organization didn't want him. Now, Dominique, this is not about people backing Jerry. Because, Dominique, I think you're missing the point. They actually were not backing Jerry. Jerry, if you're not paying attention, Dominique, Jerry is the one who wanted to keep Michael Parsons. The people around Jerry, Dominique, that's the point they're making. It's everybody around Jerry that was telling Jerry, don't pay Michael Parsons. They were telling Jerry not to do it because Jerry wanted to do it. Both of these guys are saying the same thing. Yeah, Jerry wanted to pay him. But the people are saying don't pay him.
People are saying like, oh, Jerry Jones got emotional, this, that, and the third, when the entire time he was the one that was saying we need to pay this guy.
Yeah. Did you hear that part, Dominique? That's why I'm telling you, you're getting the wrong thing from what I'm saying and from what they're saying. Because I'm telling you, Jerry didn't want to let go of Michael Parsons. And the thing that always makes me laugh is when people argue against truth. These two men that we are listening to, they have inside information into the Cowboys. And it is obvious they were knowing these things and knew because they didn't want to betray their connections. They couldn't be out here saying this stuff. But there were a number of people who did not want this guy to be paid. They didn't want him on this team. And that's why I keep saying, man, people aren't paying attention. I don't think Brian wanted him on the team. Brian will never say it. I don't think Brian wanted him on the team. I think he was one of them. We already know there were players that didn't want him on the team. Jerry wanted him on the team. Jerry wanted him on the team, man. Jerry looked at Michael Parsons like a son. Jerry was about to engraft Michael Parsons into his Dallas Cowboy family of Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Darren Woodson, Nate Newton, Jason Witten. The list goes on. of players that Jerry has engrafted into the Jerry Jones extended family. He wanted Michael Parsons in there. Because I'm telling you now, Tony Romo is the only one that I even know of to go to games with the Joneses. I mean, Tony Romo is in the Dallas Cowboys. He's in the Jerry Jones extended family. He was trying to put Michael in there. Michael let Mulugeta get him out of the family. But I can tell you this. Broadus and this guy, they're giving us some insight on that there were people as this thing is swirling around, and I guarantee you they saw blood in the water. That if there was an opportunity to get rid of Michael Parsons, if there was an opportunity to get rid of Michael Parsons, they were all for it. They were all for it. I've seen more players speak out for George Pickens than I ever saw speak out for Michael Parsons. And even the people who are speaking out, and even as I listen to Brian Schottenheimer, he's speaking about George Pickens in ways that they didn't speak about Michael Parsons. Yeah. Freddie Morales said once Jerry and Michael shook hands and had drinks. To Jerry, it was a deal done. But then Michael brought in Mulugeta, and to Jerry, that was Michael going back on his word, and Jerry lost respect for Michael. But Freddie, check this out. But if you listen to what they're saying, that even after all that, Jerry was still in the game. Like, okay, because y'all might not remember this, but Steven said, we not only went back once, we not only went back twice. Steven alluded to they went back and redid that contract multiple times, and Mulugeta turned it down. Mulugeta turned it down. Who do you think was behind them going back multiple times? It was Jerry Jones. They're telling us that Jerry Jones really wanted Michael Parsons. Booby D, I believe these guys because what reason do they have to lie? And I can tell you now, I've already proven the other day, Michael Parsons will lie in a heartbeat because Michael Parsons continues to lie about this story. Michael Parsons is the same one we heard on national TV say, I don't have to be the highest paid player. Then we heard him say the other day when he talked to Jerry, he said, I have to be the highest paid player. No, if there's anybody who I'm not believing in this story, is Michael Parsons. But I believe what they're saying because even James Slater reported. Y'all might not remember some of these things, but even James Slater reported that some of these people, there were people in the front office who were trying to encourage Jerry Jones not to give Michael Parsons an extension.
Yeah, Jerry was trying his best to get the deal done. And Micah,
are we listening? I mean, Darren Posey's already calling Brian Broaddus a tattletale. Brian Broaddus is now letting the cat out of the bag. Jerry Jones was doing all he could do to get the deal done.
Type of personality that Micah has. Micah, with the confidence, walked into Jerry Jones' office and felt like that he can negotiate a major deal that was was right at $200 million. And when you start to talk about, it's one thing to negotiate a rookie contract or something like that, guaranteed. But when you're talking about multiple years, $40 million, you probably need to, get that all ironed out the right way.
It seemed like Jerry Jones.
Yeah. That's it. Country Field, I'm going to tell you something. This is not me saying I know what Dak Prescott said. I'm just giving you speculation. But I'm telling you this, Country Field. Decisions that they make about this team, they do talk to Dak Prescott, and I would not be surprised if Dak Prescott was one of those people. Dominique, you can tell me anything you want to, but this isn't Jerry Jones talking. This is Brian Broaddus talking. Did I not say two things can be true? Has Jerry Jones done some stupid things in the past? Yes. Has Jerry Jones maybe even told some lies in the past? Yes. This isn't Jerry Jones telling this story. This is two people who know people inside of the Dallas Cowboys organization. They are telling this story finally that they couldn't tell when this stuff was going on. No, this isn't Jerry Jones. And this is why I showed this. This isn't Jerry Jones telling this story. This is people around the story telling the story. I believe him. I believe him. This isn't Jerry Jones. I think we're not listening to the same video because I didn't hear Jerry Jones talking in the video. Brian Broaddus is talking in the video. And if you listen to the video, Brian Broaddus didn't say that Jerry Jones said. Brian Broaddus is saying what Jerry Jones was doing in spite of what people were telling him. Are we not listening to the same video? And this is what I said when I first played the video. People, because they hate Jerry Jones, they don't listen to the truth. This isn't a Jerry Jones video. These are two people that they were being told things from other people who were privy to the deal. What are we talking about? This has nothing to do with Jerry Jones. The only thing this has to do with Jerry Jones is that Jerry Jones was actually wanting Micah Parsons, and the people around Jerry Jones was saying no, 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 and no, and actually said they dodged a bullet in not signing Micah Parsons. That isn't Jerry Jones. Are we not listening to this? Jerry Jones isn't speaking in his video. That's Brian Broaddus and whoever this other guy is who obviously have insight inside of the Dallas Cowboys. This isn't Jerry Jones. What are we talking about? It's nothing to do with Jerry Jones telling a lie. Demetrius Noel said, gee, Micah Mulugeta are the primary reason he isn't a Cowboy today. It's time to stop feeling sorry for Micah. He got his money and he got what he wanted. And Demetrius, and again, and let's add this on to what we're saying. It's not just Micah and Mulugeta. Micah keeps trying to blame Jerry. But if you listen to what Brian is saying, Jerry is the one, and this other guy, Jerry is the one who was fighting to sign Micah. It was the people around Jerry that were saying, no, 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 no. And I laugh. This is comical to me. That we will hear two people who obviously have way more insight than any of us in this chat, on this internet, have. But because people hate Jerry Jones so much, and then you got some people who hate we got rid of Micah Parsons, they refuse to hear truth when it's spoken. They refuse to hear truth when it's spoken. Nothing to do with Jerry Jones. This isn't Jerry Jones speaking in this video. This is them speaking about people around Jerry Jones. I don't think we're getting that part. I don't think we're getting that part. I don't think we're getting that part. When Brian Broaddus say that people are texting him, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And Poopy D, you said men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's not true. I know we like to quote Jay-Z and other people, but no, that ain't true. That actually isn't true. that actually isn't true. Because if men lie and women lie, then the people who put the numbers down, they can make the numbers lie too. Because even Micah Parsons is saying, do we not hear what Micah Parsons is saying? Yeah, Jerry was going to pay me more, but the way that it's structured. So who wouldn't want more money? Oh, he wanted to be in control of the deal. Well, most teams want to be in control of the deal. Can we stop acting like there's something that only the Cowboys want? This has nothing to do with Jerry Jones and what he said. What they're saying is what people were saying around Jerry Jones. They were in Jerry Jones' ear telling him, don't extend Micah Parsons. That's exactly what they're all saying. They're saying it was Jerry who wanted to keep him, and it was the people around Jerry who said, no, don't keep him. Love it, like it, or hate it. I don't know what people are listening to. I don't know what people are listening to. I don't even know where Jerry Jones comes into Anything Jerry Jones said, they're saying it. And to say that they're telling lies? Based on what? What are we basing that on? Come on, man. Stop this, man. You can hate Jerry Jones all you want to, but come on, man. Why call these dudes lies? They're not. What dog do they have in the fight? Why would they be lying about? Why would Brothers be lying about people texting him? Why would he be lying about that? Man, come on, man. We gotta stop this. Man, come on. We gotta stop this, though, man. Man, don't become what you hate, man. I always tell people, that's why you got to be careful when you hate people. You will become exactly what you hate. People who say Jerry Jones don't listen. Well, if you hate Jerry Jones, when somebody tell you the truth, you won't listen either. You become what you hate. Just telling you, man. But I thought that was very interesting when they talked about this thing with Micah Parsons, because, again, so many people try to blame Jerry. It's a lot of people that didn't want Jerry to do it. And they were happy that Jerry did not do it. They were happy. They were absolutely happy that Jerry didn't do it. And I'll be honest with you, I like none of the drama with Micah Parsons. I am so glad that Micah Parsons is out of Dallas. I'm telling you, I was one of the first people to say I was ecstatic about it. I would have loved that they kept him, but at the same time, glad he's gone. Too much doggone stupid drama. Even over there in Green Bay, they were talking about it. I saw them talking about it. I think it was today or yesterday. He over there talking about Caleb Williams is the best player in the NFL. Boy, let me tell you, a man who don't know the room. A man that don't know the room. I done told y'all, man, the Bible is right 100% of the time. A man that speaks his whole, only a fool speaks his whole heart. Only a fool does that. Only a fool. We heard Micah Parsons just 2 weeks ago telling Mike Tomlin, yeah, man, come to Green Bay. We got a spot for you. What spot he got for him? What spot? Always saying stupid stuff that has to be explained. What spot do they have for Mike Tomlin? Who is he to say that they have a spot in Pittsburgh for Mike Tomlin? Stupid stuff. If you don't think a lot of people didn't want that dude out of here, shoot. Man, there's a whole lot of people wanted that dude out of here for saying stupid stuff like that all the time. Wish him all the luck in the world except when he played the Dallas Cowboys. All the luck in the world. All right, let's switch gears.
Here we go.
So we got a story over here with Rashawn Gary. And I'm telling you, man, Rashawn Gary's been saying some really good stuff. So Rashawn Gary was on Good Morning Football. Not a big fan of the guy who was interviewing him, but nevertheless, he was on Good Morning Football. And he was talking all things Cowboys. Caleb Downs, Dak Prescott. And I haven't heard the entire interview, but he was talking quite a few things about the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back.
So let's check this out. Hopefully we won't get a copyright strike on this. Not all these shows let you watch them, but let's check this out.
He's one of our favorites. He always makes us smile when he comes on. Longtime member of the Green Bay Packers, and now playing for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. It's Rashawn Gary. What's up, Rashawn? How we doing, baby?
What's up? How everybody doing? I appreciate y'all having me on this morning.
We always appreciate having you on. You're always the best. But listen, I don't think we've had you on as the Dallas Cowboys. So, Rashawn, let's just get into this. Get us up to speed because so much has changed since last time we hung out. When it comes down, you find out you're no longer going to be a Packer.
Now, again, y'all blaming Jerry Jones. Y'all in the chat blaming Jerry Jones for Amari Cooper when it was clearly exposed. That was doggone Mike McCarthy. That was Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy didn't like being questioned by Amari Cooper. And we also know there was another reason why with Amari Cooper, when all this stuff was going on about y'all know what, and he refused to get the V, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. So let's not even go there with Amari Cooper, because I think when we start talking about that, I think we're talking about some stuff that we don't want to talk the whole truth on on the whole thing with Amari Cooper. But that was Mike McCarthy, and some of that was something personal about the J. So, nah, y'all ain't being truthful on that right there.
You're going to the Cowboys. It's such an exciting thing for you, or is it? And all these months later, how are you feeling? How's life?
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. I've been blessed and fortunate to have, the love and support group that I have, my family and loved ones. But, from the time of, my time.
And again, I just laugh that when we hear, it's like when we hear stuff, we don't want to hear it. But Bobby Belt told this story in depth, Newhouse. Now, you can choose to believe it or not. But I'll say this. I believe that, and no offense to you or anybody else, but I believe that Bobby Belt has more insight into the Dallas Cowboys than you, me, or a lot of us on the internet. And Bobby Belt spelt that situation out clearly from people inside of the building, not just based on his opinion. That issue with Amari Cooper, that was a combination of Mike McCarthy, because, as they said, Amari Cooper is one of those guys. He likes to ask a lot of questions. He likes to ask the whys. Mike McCarthy didn't like it. Didn't like a lot of things about Amari Cooper. Just like Mike McCarthy got Kellen Moore, ran out of Dallas, took the play calling from him and ran him out of Dallas. He did the same thing with Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper didn't help his case in that whole when he wouldn't get the J. Everybody know it. Everybody know it. We're not being truthful about this situation with Amari Cooper. It was a lot going on with this Amari Cooper thing. I believe the Cowboys were dumb in trading him. Jerry was dumb in trading him. But if anybody remembers anything about that period of time, there were a lot of people doing a lot of things because of the issue that was going on during that time. And anybody who spoke against that issue, they were trying to cancel those people, and they were trying to do things against those people. Come on now. We're not being honest in that situation. We're just not.
I'm in Green Bay, all 7 years, man. It's been an honor. Nothing but good experiences. But, just because, the timeline, I have yet to, really reflect on my time in Green Bay. But, I've been excited to, have on these colors right now, be a Dallas Cowboy. And, I just can't wait to go to work and show America's team what I'm all about.
Well, you just said it, Rashawn. You're in Green Bay for your first part of your career. And Green Bay acquired Michael Parsons, and you were with him for 1 year. Did Michael, before you left Green Bay, give you any kind of advice about what the locker room like or what life is like in Dallas?
Yeah, Mike is a close friend of mine, and just one thing that he said is just go in there and be me. They need a lot. They need a leader. They need a guy that's that's confident and believing what believing what you believe. So that's what I've been doing. And he said if I need any help, getting a chef, massage, whatever you can, I can hit him up. So he's a good dude.
All right, you got it on that side. You got it on the other side with Kenny Clark, though. You're reuniting with him. Tell us about Kenny and how excited you are to play alongside him again.
Yeah, it's crazy. We back like we never left. That's one thing that this league grants you with, teammates. And if you're able to, play with a no teammate, once you leave, it's a blessing. So being able to be teamed up back with Kenny, just understand the type of guy he is and how he prepares, Monday to Sunday, how he pushes everybody around him. He elevates. So he's an elevator. He elevates everybody around him from, the way he practiced to, the way he played. So being back around a guy like that has a high standard only makes me keep a high standard, and me and him chasing greatness. So it feels good to be back with my friend.
Rashawn, we wanted to pick your brain a little bit here because wide receiver George Pickens, he sat out of the voluntary OTAs, but is expected to be at mandatory minicamp. And as someone who, just went through a contact situation yourself, what do you think his mindset is right now?
Man, the main thing is football. In his case, letting his agents do what he, paid him to do. And, his role being a football player, making sure he's doing the best thing for himself, and that's making sure he's in the best shape that he can be. Staying in contact with the guys, which I hear he is, and, being on point on things when it's time to get back.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. We love watching him. It's unbelievable highlights. But we watched you for years too, Rashawn. One thing that's cool about the Cowboys-Packers thing is there's been a lot of Cowboys-Packers matchups. Like, you got business with each other. You've played each other. You've played against Dallas. You've played against Dak Prescott. And now you walk in the locker room, and there's number 4, your teammate, this guy that you used to run after for all those years. What's that been like, and is there something about meeting him, being a teammate with him, that was interesting to you?
Yeah, man, me and Dak, man, he's a true leader from top to bottom.
This man said, and we know he's played with Jordan Love. He said that he hasn't seen a man like this. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, Dak's one of them. I think a lot of people know it. Man. Dak is one of them. Dak is one of them, no doubt about it.
Sounds great, and it's also great when you hear some things from your head coach now, Brian Schottenheimer, who recently told NFL reporter Jane Slater that he was blown away by your professionalism and your leadership. What does it mean to hear that?
All right, so hold on a second, Baz. Let me read something you said. You said, just because simply Jerry and the franchise are operating differently with Schotty doesn't excuse Jerry at all from this team's shortcomings, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I want you to keep that same energy, and I mean this with all respect. We got to be careful when we become what we hate. We'll say this same thing about the Joneses, saying that them doing things better doesn't erase what they've done in the past. But isn't that what repentance is about? While it doesn't erase your past, but when somebody is doing something different, then I focus on what they're doing different. And I don't let their past be their present. I let their present dictate their future. So why, if we're saying the same thing is true about Jerry, then what are we saying about the Dallas Cowboys in this league as it applies to George Pickens? Because shouldn't people be applying that same application to George Pickens? George Pickens had issues at Georgia. George Pickens had issues at Pittsburgh. He comes to the Dallas Cowboys. He's got 1 year of doing things great. And we want to erase everything that George Pickens did in college and everything he did with the Steelers. And we say, give him the biggest wide receiver deal in football or make him one of the top 3 paid wide receivers. So we want to apply this to George Pickens. But then when it comes to the Joneses doing things better, we say there's no excuse. Okay. I got you. No, we are talking football. We actually are talking football, Dominique. We're talking football. Because George Pickens did those things within football. That's what's holding him back on this contract. And I find it to be strange, and this is what's called a double standard. You either have the same standard or you're a respecter of persons. And it depends on who it is and how you decide on who you're going to forgive. You're either going to have a standard or you're not. You're either going to have a standard or you're not. And again, if you listen to some of these players, I'm telling you what players are saying. Some of them are even saying all of these seasons of losing is not Jerry Jones. Who told Tony Romo and Jason Witten to go down to Cabo St. Lucas the year that they had the #1 seed and got knocked out by the New York Giants? Are we saying that was Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones did that. That Jerry Jones told them to go to Cabo St. Lucas. Jerry Jones told them that. We're saying that Jerry Jones told Creighton to drop a pass that absolutely could have helped the Dallas Cowboys win that year. We're saying that Jerry Jones did that. So that's what we're saying. And as a matter of fact, that same New York Giants team actually went on to win the Super Bowl. We're saying that when Tony Romo fumbled the snap on a go-ahead-and-win field goal with Bill Parcells, we're saying that that was Jerry Jones' fault. That's what we're saying. We're saying that when the Dallas Cowboys played the Green Bay Packers and Dez Bryant caught that ball down there at the goal line and the referee said that was no catch, we're saying that that was Jerry Jones' fault. The Cowboys not going to the Super Bowl, that's not Jerry Jones' fault every year. That's not Jerry Jones' fault every year. Has Jerry Jones done some stupid things? Yes. But has there also been some things that just didn't fall the Cowboys' way? And Jerry Jones absolutely did a bang-up job of getting players in here, getting a team in here? Stop it. I'm not buying what you're saying. It's called a double standard. When I like you, I'm willing to overlook everything you've done. When I don't like you, I'm going to pinpoint everything that you've done. Stop it. I don't operate like that. I'm just telling you. I don't operate like that. That's a double standard. And that's why I don't listen when people be talking, oh, you got to forgive George Pickens. But then at every turn, they try to hold everything against Jerry Jones. Even in times when it wasn't Jerry Jones' fault. Patrick Creighton dropping passes. Dez Bryant, that was a catch. Even in 2016, we're telling me that was Jerry Jones. When Aaron Rodgers drew up a play in the dirt, threw one of the most incredible passes you'll ever see down the sideline. There's no way that pass should have even been thrown or caught. And then the field goal kicker kicks a field goal that goes out and then back in. And they beat the Dallas Cowboys because Jason Garrett left too much time on the clock. You're telling me that's Jerry Jones? I'm not buying none of that stuff. I'm not buying none of that stuff. It's exactly what people do. It's called a double standard. When they hate you, they pinpoint everything. When they love you, they'll excuse everything. I'm not buying it. Same people who hate Jerry Jones, they want 1 year of George Pickens, make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league, but we're going to hate Jerry Jones. This is the very reason why, and I'm not agreeing with all of this, but it's the very reason why even Zach Martin is saying, nah, we should have won some of those games. Zach Martin said, no, it's not Jerry Jones. We should have won some of those games. Tony Romo said, who played for this team, said, no, that was not Jerry Jones. We should have won some of those games. I guess it was Jerry Jones that gave Travis Frederick a degenerative disease in his neck to where Travis Frederick had to retire. That's Jerry Jones. Double standard. Double standard. Double standard every way you look. Dominique Pittman, not buying nothing you're saying. Because in that 30-year, what's the common denominator? There have been things that have not went right for the Cowboys in those 30 years. Bottom line. Absolute bottom line. The common denominator in the Patrick Creighton drop isn't Jerry Jones. Dez Bryant not making the catch. That's not Dez Bryant making the catch and them calling it not being the catch. That's not Jerry Jones. Again, double standard. People who sit up and have a double standard, it's called hypocrisy. When I hate you, everything you do is wrong. When I love you, I'm going to excuse everything you do is wrong. Don't operate like that. Not buying it. Not buying it. I'm with you, real estate vet. Jerry not on the field. Not buying it. Not buying it. Absolutely. There have been times when this team, it just absolutely failed. Bottom line, they had the players, they had the team, they failed. Within those 30 years. There is at least about 6 teams in that 30 years. There's about 6 teams in there. They underachieved, and it's not because of Jerry Jones. They flat out underachieved. They underachieved. Bottom line.
From your new head coach?
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's an honor. That just, speaks to, the guy that I am. How I come in and work and try to lead, man. I can only do my 1/11th, and if I could bring other guys along, that's my job. So that just means I got to keep on going just to start.
Whenever I think of anybody who joins the Cowboys, I think you don't have a target on your helmet. You have a star on your helmet, which is basically the same thing when it comes to rivals. NFC East in particular, you haven't even played a game yet there, but have you developed your rival? Are people telling you who the rival is? How does that go for you?
Like I said, it's like I'm a new kid on the block, man. I'm learning as I'm going, but just me being around the game of football, me being around, the NFC, I understand, the teams that we got to see twice a year.
The reality is the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers are a rivalry. And they've not only been a rival, but the Green Bay Packers are especially a rival for the Dallas Cowboys now because Jerry Jones went and made a trade that blew everybody's mind. Jerry Jones traded within the division. That is mind-blowing. And he made that trade with the Green Bay Packers, who the Dallas Cowboys have absolutely had a lot of run-ins with throughout the years. And again, when you think about what the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers have kind of been through, what was it? 2014, that was when they called it not a catch. 2016, Dak Prescott brought that team all the way back, tied the game up, left too much time on the clock. Aaron Rodgers goes and throws one of the most incredible throws you'll ever see in your life. I forget that tight end's name. He made one of the most incredible catches you'll ever see in your life, made an incredible kick after that. So when you think about the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, 8-17, I forgot about the Ice Bowl. I forgot about that. And then when you think about the game, let me tell you something. Man, a lot of people may not realize this. But 2023 broke Jerry Jones. I'm telling us, I believe 2023 was the beginning of some of this Dallas Cowboys moving different stuff. 2023 broke Jerry Jones. It broke Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones believed that 2023 team, he believed that team was good enough to beat the Green Bay Packers. And Jerry, what he counted on, and where Jerry made a vital mistake, is Jerry thought that offense was so high-powered that it would be able to overcome the Green Bay Packers. But the Green Bay Packers came in with a plan. The Green Bay Packers knew the Cowboys couldn't stop the run. So plan number one, run the ball. They also knew that the drop-off from CeeDee Lamb, they had Brandon Cooks that year, Michael Gallup. The drop-off from CeeDee Lamb was the Grand Canyon. So the Green Bay Packers said, simple, we'll stop CeeDee Lamb, and then we'll see what he can do with the rest of those wide receivers. It was a catastrophe. They really underestimated the Green Bay Packers. And anybody who had been watching the Green Bay Packers down the stretch, they really got hot down the stretch in 2023. They absolutely did. Cowboys ran into a buzzsaw. They ran into a buzzsaw. And I even think the Cowboys were overly confident. And this is one of those issues in 2023 where I also thought, and I always thought this about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is a poor preparer of teams. Mike McCarthy had Aaron bleeping Rodgers for the majority of his Hall of Fame career and was only able to get one. You're only able to get one Super Bowl out of Aaron Rodgers? Embarrassing. It is embarrassing to be able to only get one Super Bowl out of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of y'all might be too young to know this, because I be talking to my sons and, they watch Aaron Rodgers now and they kind of laugh when they see him now because they're like, that's the guy you talk. Man, people do not realize Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the top 3 throwers of the football that I've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers was running the football, a scrambler, could throw the ball inside of, this dude could throw a football inside of a Cracker Jack box. Aaron Rodgers was that good. Mike McCarthy had this man the majority of his career and only got one Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy was a poor preparer of teams. And I don't think the Cowboys were prepared in 2023. I believe they really thought in 2023, we got a 12-5 record. We're going to smoke the Green Bay Packers at home, and then we're going to play the San Francisco 49ers. It'll be the revenge game, and we'll see how it goes from there. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Mike McCarthy was a poor preparer of teams. It just didn't happen. All right, hold on a second. Mo3, he said, bro, I played in them in high school. You talking about them Tony Dorsett cleats? Yes, sir. He said, I was telling the truth. He said, just like free agency, hate them or love them. Yeah, I mean, boy, tell you, boy, if you had them Tony Dorsett cleats, he was it. But again, the Cowboys, man, when you think about it, the Green Bay Packers are major rivals for the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry Jones. And somewhere it tells me that Jerry Jones did this by design. Jerry Jones, by design, made this deal with the Green Bay Packers. I know he wanted defensive tackles, but this league, I believe, will find a way for the Dallas Cowboys to play the Green Bay Packers for the next 4 to 5 years. They're going to make sure in some form or fashion the Dallas Cowboys are going to play the Green Bay Packers. It's a rivalry. It's a great one. It's a great rivalry. And I do see somewhere down the line, the Cowboys are going to play the Dallas Cowboys. The Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys are going to play twice in the same season. They're going to play a game in the regular season, and then they're going to see each other in the playoffs to determine who goes to the Super Bowl. It would be incredible. Just imagine this. It would be incredible if the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers played in the NFC Championship game. It would be absolutely incredible. If the Cowboys played the Packers in the NFC Championship game, it would literally be the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl. Whichever one of those teams won that game would probably win the Super Bowl that year. And I could see that happening down the line. I can absolutely see that happening down the line. So, he's asking Rashawn Gary, hey, have you found your NFC East rival? Yeah, it's the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you found your NFC rival. It's the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Eagles, the Giants, the Commanders, those are built into the division. But when you talk about just overall in the NFC East, this Green Bay Packer and Cowboy thing going to be going on for a few years because of that trade. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Yeah, ice cold. I think the Packers going to have a hard time this year. I believe that Michael Parsons is signed up for the same problem he had with the Cowboys. They lost a lot of good players. They lost their defensive tackle. They lost They lost Gary. They lost Gray, I believe. I mean, they're basically rebuilding over there on defense. I think they're going to have a tough time over there. Michael Parsons is going to find himself in the same situation that they're going to be depending on him. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to put everything. They're going to put everything on Michael Parsons. It's the biggest mistake that they can make.
And, everybody know at the end of the year to handle and to get to where we got to get to, we got to handle those games. And those are the teams that we got to see twice a year.
Well, Rashawn, you said you're the new kid on the block, but really the new kid on the block is Caleb Downs, your first-round pick out of the Ohio State University. What has been your first impression of him so far?
Man, he's a dog, man. It's early, but he's a pro's pro. From how he, take notes to the meeting, from how he asks questions to how, he wants to be on top of the details. And, having a young guy, also try to, bring guys along. So just him being a natural leader.
It's Traquez Bridges.
Man, he's a great guy, and I just can't wait for him to keep on growing and striving because we're going to need him.
Rashawn, being a good friend of our show and coming on over the years results in traditions that we develop. And you know perfectly well that our tradition is every time you come on, we talk to you about how you love the show Friends and your favorite character is Ross. And we respect that you like Ross and that you're a Ross guy. We need to learn more, though. Rashawn, do you have a favorite Ross moment in Friends?
A favorite Ross moment. I don't know. Ross has always been Ross.
Ross really belongs. Perfect.
I don't know. Remember he played rugby that one time. He could get it. I mean,
Now I don't know about y'all. I was, you know, I'm a little bit older. Never was big in that Friends era. I never liked Friends. My wife, I was asking her, she's younger than me. I was asking her the other day. I was like, "You like Friends?" She was like, "Oh, yeah, I used to watch it." I'm like, "What?" I never watched. I wasn't a big Friends watcher. I don't know about y'all. I think you can catch it on one of the networks now. It's streaming. I never was really a big Friends. I just didn't like Friends. I mean, I thought it was good, but you know, for whatever reason, I just never really got into Friends. I just never did.
You know, maybe you could get a little contact.
Long after you retired and you had this crazy, beautiful career and you won Super Bowls, and we'll still be like, Rashawn, let's talk about Ross. And you'll always do it. You'll always do it, and that's part of the reason we love you, man. Great teammate, great player. How about them Cowboys? Thanks for joining us, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I am looking so forward to seeing what Rashawn Gary does this year. I am looking forward to see what Rashawn Gary does this year. Rashawn Gary is a huge part of the plan for the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, I believe that they want him to be their pass rusher. I mean, they want him to be that double-digit sack-getting pass rusher. They want him to get that 10, 11, 12, 13 sacks because they feel like the other players and the scheme that they have is going to get them the other sacks to where they're going to have other players with 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 sacks. Rashawn Gary is going to be a big, big deal this year. He absolutely is going to be a big deal this year. All right, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got 2 more topics, and these are the Dak Prescott press conference and then the player interviews. I'm going to see tonight, depending upon how I'm feeling. I'm going to try to come back for Cowboys After Dark and do the Dak Prescott talking to Pickens and the player interviews. And if I don't come back to Cowboys After Dark, I will do those first things tomorrow. But if I can stay up, I'm going to try my best to come back tonight and we'll talk Dak Prescott interview. We'll talk player interviews. We'll talk all of those things. We're not done. We're just done for now. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Great discussions. We'll be back again tomorrow, if the Lord is willing. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.